Okay, guys. So tonight, actually, um, I want to make a video talking real quickly about um, a subject, and I brought my wallet out for this subject. And I want to talk real quickly about something that you probably need to really know. This is probably the biggest warning, um, the biggest thing I probably have ever had to put on the internet. Um, well, next to a certain other subject that almost got me, certain other subject that almost got me kicked off YouTube, which we don't talk about. Um, let's just say it had something to do with medical reasons, um, and I won't go into that subject tonight. But like I said, it almost got me kicked off YouTube. If you haven't been with me long enough, you would understand that there was a certain incident that happened a few years ago, and it was something to do with, let's say, a liquid, and that was not a very good time in my YouTube times back then. They pretty much put this channel on the blacklist back then. I think I might have gotten off that blacklist now. I think they've started treating me a little more fairly, considering that, hey, I haven't done anything in a very long time. But I think they kind of treat me a little more fairly now. In some ways, I kind of wondered if it would be better for me to start a whole new channel, but at the exact same time, to get the amount of subscribers I've got would take way longer than what I want to put into YouTube to do it again. So I figured, hey, just stick with this one. But getting to the video and get into this most important thing I've ever had to put on the internet. I don't want to get in here and start pushing it just like really just hard. I'm wanting to take it kind of easy with the function, the stuff I'm talking about in this video. Um, the the truth is that there's a bigger issue than you think going on right now, and it's a really big issue with money and the United States dollar. It's with the United States dollar. It's in the money system of the United States. And our money, our debt, the U.S. national debt, has always been propped up by something called Treasury bonds. And it's U.S. Treasury bonds is what it is. So basically, big banks of the world and our own banks, governments buy the U.S. dollar, and we turn around and buy their dollars too. So let's say China has used to have $700 billion of our dollar. At one point, they had $1.4 trillion of our dollar, and now Europe has decided that they're pulling out of the treasury bonds also, which means the United States is holding is left holding the bag on its own currency to pay back the debt on the U.S. dollar. Well, it's kind of like this. We have hit a wall, so to speak, on this thing. They're not going to buy the U.S. dollar treasury bonds no more. Europe, because of what Trump did with Denmark, which is ridiculous. I understand why he's doing that. He wants to get Greenland because of two reasons. Because right now, it puts America more at a risk up here because of the fact that Russia's already using because the ice caps have melted. Russia's now using a shipping lane up there. There's shipping lanes up there, and he doesn't want them to take that land over. Well, another thing too is it has lots and lots and lots and lots of natural resources, and China is able to use some of these natural resources they own against us, called rare earth minerals, and Greenland has a lot of rare earth minerals. So Trump's wanting those rare earth minerals, and if he doesn't get those, and China starts doing more restrictions, and China starts doing more things to stop us from getting the technology stuff we need, the chips to be able to run anything from your computers to your cell phones to your smart TVs to your anything. And the Tomahawk missiles, your computers, and your car, they all need the rare earth minerals. Well, Greenland has a lot, and that would make us number 2 in the world on rare earth minerals if we can get Greenland. And Denmark and Greenland doesn't even know what they have sitting right there, and Trump can make them extremely rich. The tech companies can make them extremely rich with this technology stuff they have with rare earth minerals, and they don't even know it themselves. They are literally sitting on basically a gold mine, and they don't even know it. So, but the point isn't Greenland. The point is, it's with any kind of war, with any kind of junk like this, it's always follow the dollar. It is. It always has been. You know that as well as I do. The same way it is with Iraq wars and any kind of other war that we have to go through. There's always follow the dollar. It just is that way. Okay. So let me explain something to you. Europe is basically doing away with the treasury bond because of Denmark. They're pulling away from the treasury bond. And basically, they have to kind of buy the treasury bond because they're not in with the BRICS dollars. They're not in with the BRICS nations, and India and China and Russia's in with the BRICS dollars. But like UK, the UK and all them, they're not in with NATO. None of them are in with NATO. UK and them are in with NATO, but India and them's not in with NATO. India, Russia, and China's not in with NATO. The UK, Germany, France, and all these other countries, Australia, Japan, and even Taiwan kind of wants to be in with NATO. And the thing of it is, for them to get our protection and keep our protection, they have got to buy those U.S. bonds. Well, they're not wanting to buy those U.S. bonds no more to keep the protection of the United States. And since nobody's willing to buy the bonds of the United States, the dollar is basically falling apart. We know that the dollar is falling apart. We tell that by going to the gas pumps, which gas really isn't that bad. I remember at one point gas was at times really high because of the wars in Iraq. Excuse me. But because of the wars in Iraq and many different things. So while this is going on, all this stuff is going on, and with all these tariffs and everything else, they're not wanting to buy the dollar, buy our stuff anymore. China is literally dumping their U.S. Treasury bonds. They dumped $688 billion worth out of their $700 billion, and to my understanding, they have only $14 billion of our Treasury bonds left. Now, I don't know. I haven't been able to quite confirm that, or maybe it's just the fact that they want to keep this information away from the internet more. But they have dumped $688 billion of the U.S. Treasury bonds when they only held like 700 something billion. So they're supposedly own only 14 billion now, and they just dumped that this week. So, and every country in the world is selling U.S. Treasury bonds as fast as they can get rid of them. Chase Bank is selling, our very own bank here in the United States is selling the U.S. Treasury bond, and they're positioning themselves into a different place in a different category. They're kind of like trying to get into other kind of things. Here lately, they've been buying a lot of precious metals. Well, what this all means, you're probably saying, well, let's get to the point of all this. Well, what this all means is this pretty much is the most important video I have ever made in my time on YouTube. Even out of the whole prepare for everything, get ready for this, get ready for that. I've got my power on here at the house, even though the storm come through. But even if I didn't, I still have ways to make more power. Well, that is not going to be necessarily options for you. Excuse me. I guess my sinuses must be bothering me tonight. I'm not sleepy. I guess my sinuses bother me, and they are. And so, the deal is, if you have money in a bank, if you have money in a banking account someplace, if you've got any spare cash in the bank other than paying your bills, because you need to have the money in the bear to pay your bills. Let's be honest. But if you have any kind of spare money, any kind of money you have in the bank, I'm gonna basically, me personally, I'm getting every penny I can out of the bank, and this is just my holding money right here. But this is my money to carry around and pay for things directly. But if you have any money in the bank because of U.S. Treasury bonds being sold off, inflation is going to go up 20% more within the next 6 months. It's going to go up. It's already going up now 20%. It's going to go up another 20%, and it could go up to 50% more before the year's over, or even 100% more before the year's over. The dollar is getting ready to be toast. They are getting ready to end the dollar for the BRICS currency. Okay, so they're trying to sell off as much dollars as possible, and the reason why they're wanting to get themselves out of this stuff is because the United States has been putting tariffs on people all the time. It's tariffs this, tariffs that, tariffs this, tariffs that. Trump uses tariffs and pushes people around with tariffs like it's no tomorrow. He hands out tariffs like a freaking bank hands out credit cards. I mean, there's one tariff after another tariff after another tariff. They were talking about making some kind of deal up in Canada with China, which Canada is our number one importer and exporter in the United States. It's the number one that we have for us, like oil, as far as oil and different things. There's many different things that we have, right? So the United States, the United States is in big trouble. We just made a big threat to them today. Well, about a day or two ago, Trump made a threat to them saying that if they go with the deal with China, that they're going to have if they go with the deal with China, he's going to put a 100% tariff on them. And we're talking about Canada. We're talking about Denmark, who's one of our number one people that loves us to death, and they're one of our best allies. They're not many people and everything else, but they're one of our best allies. They love us to death, and he's putting tariffs on them. He's putting tariffs on all kinds of places, even NATO allies and stuff like that. So when you go to putting tariffs on all these people, and you start doing like he's doing, you're basically killing the dollar. I mean, that's what he's doing. He's killing the dollar. And they're doing uh, many, many different things. The United States is dying in many, many different ways. So there's no way for them to ever pay back this money that they owe. Okay? There's no way. And the bottom line is treasury bonds are supposed to always go up. And if they don't go up, then there's a big problem. Okay? We're really in the biggest trouble of our entire life in America today. We're in the biggest trouble of our entire life, and nobody even realizes it. Um, the bottom line is, if you have money in the bank, you might have already been someplace, and you had the money in the bank, and you probably know what I'm talking about. I want to kind of keep this video short because I feel like I'm not really kind of like pushing it out like that, but if you have money in the bank at all, it's your money. And you probably have been places to where it's like I had the money in the bank, and I was probably down, and you were just down here buying a cup of coffee. You were at work or something like that. Just some $2 or $3 purchase, or some $15 purchase, or $10 purchase, something like that, or $100 purchase. You might have been trying to buy your food at Walmart or anything like that, and yet your debit card didn't go through. You're like, what the hell is going on? I got the money. You can be like, look, I got the cash. You'd be like, what's going on? I got the cash. You look it up. Hey, I got the cash. Why didn't they pay the bill? Huh? Well, you did have the cash, but they had a liquidity problem at that time. The United States has already had to inject huge amounts of cash into a liquidity crisis as it is. The bottom line is, what you need to do is get your money out of the bank now. And any kind of money you got that you got to pay mortgages or anything else, if you got money in any bank, get it out of there, because your money's not safe anywhere in any bank. So make sure you hold your cash in your hand. Now, some people would say go buy silver, some people would say go buy gold, some people would say go buy this and go buy that. Well, I have no problem with that if that's what you want to do. That's entirely up to you. I won't say do it. I won't say not to do it. I will just say that if you have that much cash that you can go buy gold and silver, stuff like that, I would say make sure that you also have the other things that you need to be getting in your life too. Okay? So, like I said, I don't want to make this video too long, but this is a very important video that I feel like you need to know about. Basically, they're killing the United States dollar. They're just wiping it out. Slowly but surely, it's dying because they're not buying the treasury bonds, the U.S. treasury bonds. And if they're not buying the U.S. treasury bonds to go more into debt, then America can't go more into debt. They can raise the debt some all they want, but if they can't find a buyer to buy those U.S. treasury bonds, then the world is in trouble. Okay, so the bottom line is get out of the system. Get out of there. Get your money. Get your money out of the bank. Get your money in your pocket and have it on your hand. Have cash in your hand. Anyway, be good. Be good at it. Take it easy.